As part of our annual public lecture series, Induction and Conferment of Honorary Doctorate Degree, the African School of Diplomacy and International Relations, in collaboration with Queen's University, Belfast, United Kingdom, recently observed the third edition of the series in Abuja. The theme for the one-day event was captioned aptly in The Political Economy of Nation Building, the World's Unfinished Business, held at the prestigious Nigeria Army Resource Center, Abuja. In his welcome address, the Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of African School of Diplomacy and International Relations, who also is the Deputy Secretary General, African Affairs International Society of Diplomats, His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Tunji Ashaolu, heartily welcomed all invited guests, participants, inductees, and awardees to the event. He further recalled the importance of the annual lecture series of the past and the roles and impact it have made from its inception to date.
This year's annual public lecture, it is important to acknowledge the insightful theme explored in the first and the second edition. In year 2021, the inaugural lecture series focused on the role of ethics and compliance in the public institution. This theme underscored the paramount significance of ethical conduct and the compliance standards in the functioning of public institutions. The discussion illuminated the vital role this principle plays in promoting transparency, accountability, and responsible governance in Africa. In the following year, this was year 2022, the second edition of annual public lecture series tackled the theme of democracy, security, governance, and electoral rights, the mechanism to safeguard sustainable development in Africa. This topic was also selected due to the prevailing situation in Africa, where democracy, security, governance, and electoral rights are crucial elements for achieving sustainable development. The engaging discussion went into mechanisms and strategies aimed at safeguarding these essential pillars of progress in the African context. Therefore, drawing inspiration from the previous edition, the selection of the theme for this third edition, Political Economy of Nation Building, the World Unfinished Business. It is a conscious decision made in response to the prevailing political and economic deficit in Africa, despite the remarkable strides made in the nation-building efforts across the continent. It remains an unfinished business for many countries. The challenges and complexities encountered in this endeavor are vast, ranging from socio-economic, inequalities, political instability, corruption, environmental concerns, to technological disruptions, among others.
While recognizing the roles of partnering institutions, Ambassador Tunji Ashaolu gave kudos to Queen University of Belfast, UK, and to others, including the organizing committee, for making the third edition of the public lecture and awards a success. In his keynote address, the former Vice Chancellor, Abia State University, Professor Nkpa Agu Nkpa, OFR, while analyzing the facts and figures of political economy in nation building, was quick to profess that nation building is a continuum and laid strong emphasis on its functionalities and instrument of uniting and prospering the continent Africa.
Nation building is a continuum. There is no end to it. Even the advanced countries are continuing to build their nations. So there is no end to nation building because there are complexities in the machinery of nations. Challenges erupt from time to time, and the ability to manage these challenges in order to assume unity and unification of the country becomes the issue of nation building. So we can say that in the context of political economy, nation Nation building simply is an unfinished business. It implies the process of nation building in which nations are continuously trying to become unified, particularly the post-colonial states of Africa, which are grappling with the legacies of colonialism, which brought about deeply divided societies striving to create inclusive institutions, and countries emerging from conflict seeking stability and prosperity. These challenges often stem from historical injustices, socioeconomic inequities, and political power imbalances. These are crises that call for nation building. Colonial legacies continue to impact many nations as they often left behind fragmented societies, unequal resource distribution, and weak governance structures. Post-colonial states face the task of constructing inclusive political institutions and accommodate various societal groups and ensure equitable distribution of resources. This process requires addressing historical grievances, fostering national reconciliation, and designing economic policies that promote inclusive growth.
Let me start by saying that the entire global space need not only traditional diplomats found in our different embassies of nations, but also individuals that must have the knowledge of diplomacy, particularly economic diplomacy of Nigeria 2018. Why? This is because the global space under the current globalization is being indirectly administered by transnational corporations that network themselves across nation states. Whether we want it or not, decisions of countries are being influenced by them. And therefore, their subsidiaries, their branches, and their associates exert so much influence that is affecting our political space. It therefore becomes very necessary to make sure that we have diplomats like those that we have been inducted over here today, so as to be able to capacitate them, to make them be able to know what and what to do to collaborate with what is happening in our federal ministry of foreign affairs in terms of diplomatic practice.
In his goodwill message, the leader of Senate, Senator Dr. Michael Opeyemi Bamidele, ably represented by Honorable Folashade Adepeju Joseph, welcomed all dignitaries to the event. He enjoined speakers and the stakeholders in the Nigerian political economy to explore the theme of the third annual lecture series towards further integrating unity and good governance in Africa.
Nation building is constructing and structuring a national identity and governments from scratch, or rebuilding and strengthening existing institutions. It fosters unity, establishes governance structures, and promotes socio-economic development to create a cohesive and stable nation. Nation building involves the intricate interplay between political and economic factors. Political stability provides a foundation for economic development, while a thriving economy can contribute to political cohesion. Balancing this aspect is crucial for sustainable nation-building efforts. The political economy of nation building is complex, shaped by globalization, geopolitical dynamics, and domestic policies. Economic structures, trade relationships, and political institutions play pivotal roles. Thus, it is a delicate dance where nations balance their economic interests with social and political stability.
Among other things, Some personalities were inducted into the Fellowship of Diplomacy and International Relations in view of their worthy contribution to good governance and unity of the African states. It will be noted too that some important players in the African diplomatic and political economic space were conferred with the honorary doctorate degree of the institution. Responding to questions from our interview, inductees and awardees lauded the induction and the award as the best move at the right direction for the unity and good governance in Africa. The youths and the adult youths are called upon to rise to the occasion in the drive to stabilize politics and economy in Africa.
Being conferred with an honorary doctorate in global leadership, for me, is just a call to greater responsibility. Someone once said that the reward for hard work is more work. I've been involved in leadership development, working with our young people for close to 15, 20 years now. And to think that such a recognition will come on a day like this means a lot to me. So it just tells me there's a need to go back and do much more, because Nigeria needs not just leaders, well-trained leaders. Yeah.
We'll continue to advocate for a good Nigeria, a good economy. So we will not stop. It's a collective thing. One will chase 1,000, 10,000. So we need to come together. It's a drive for us to be better, to do more. We are not being confined today just to get another feathers to our cap. No, it is another avenue to do what to work. It's a challenge. It's a lot of work, and we together will make it happen.
The annual lecture series of 2023 also witnessed a book launch titled How to Get to the Top, authored by His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Ashaolu. The third annual lecture series of African School of Diplomacy and International Relations, according to the Chief Executive of the organization, is to continue to pursue the vision and the mission that set up the institution toward enhancing good governance, unity, and progress of Africa.